Hello guys, welcome back to my channel SQLSession53. In last class we have completed page restore. So once again I will be going through this page restore. Page restore means whichever the page is corrupted inside the table, we can fix that particular page. So we have these commands in restore. At the time of restore, what we have did, we have corrupted one particular page, right? We have opened page number 448 and corrupted that with hex editor. After that, like actual troubleshooting, what I said, we had to take 5 minute downtime whenever the activity we do, right? At that time, we have to inform application team as well. So here we have page restore. Whenever it is corrupted, first we have to check, okay, whether the pages, how many pages are corrupted using DBCC check DB. This will run for hours only. So during the non-business hour, we'll be having this maintenance job. So every weekly once we'll be having this job, okay. And after running this command DBCC check DB on the particular database, so we will be having that allocation error and consistency error. We can check the page in red mark. It will be having, as I showed in last class, like 1:448 pages corrupted. So I have run this alter database command with single user mode. If the database is in use, at that time we have to use. So first I have used this command called backup log database name to disk equal to path with no recovery. This you have to keep it in mind. Like I have used no recovery, and database will be in restoring state. After that, we have to run this command. Okay. Here 448 was corrupted. We can view it as 448. If many pages are corrupted, what you can do is you can give comma and give page number, whatever it is, okay. If many pages are corrupted, hundreds of pages are corrupted, you can restore from full backup normally as we do, okay. And we have to run this differential backup with no recovery and a T-log backup with no recovery. So here after running this all the command, you have to keep it in mind. You have to put on backup, right, with no recovery. At last you have to run that backup. After running that, the database will come online, and you can check that page which has damage, it will be fixed, okay. So that these things and all I have discussed, and now I'll be discussing about backup strategies, okay. Backup strategy means here I have that document. So whenever we perform backup, right, we have full backup, differential backup, T-log backup. Okay, three types of backups are there. And also we have file and file group, but that is partially. Whenever we do in file groups one by one, it is full only. Okay. So complete database backup, how it works. So here, whenever we take the backup, in background there will be 7 backup buffers, right? We can increase this backup buffer also, as I showed in demo also, like we can exceed up to 14 buffers, and each buffer size is 1 MB by default. If this is 1 MB, this is 1 MB, 1 MB, 1 MB, 1 MB, 1 MB. We can increase this buffer size up to 4 MB, and like we can speed up the backup by increasing buffer size, and this counts also, buffer counts also we can increase as required. Like we have to first do testing, so after that we can give that parameters, okay. So whatever, whenever you perform, we have to check it and test it, and then only have to apply in real time. Here, whenever the database backup is took now, how this SQL Server backup work means, first it will copy the metadata, okay, and of MDF and NDF files. So after copying the pages, it will copy the data, okay. pages, whichever the data is present inside the page, that it will take the backup, and at last it will take the backup of the log records, and there will be background process, like there will be buffers here, and it will take to BAK file. This will be the BAK, right? So here we have that database. It will in background it will copy through buffers. We'll be having read thread and write that parallelly, and will be having also the controller thread, and it will take to BAK file. So whenever at the time of restore here, this BAK files will be we are reapplying, okay. Whenever the database is crashed, we will be restoring the database, right? At the time of the restore, it will be in reverse process, everything. This will be the BAK file, and there will be backup buffer, and we that backup data will, whatever it is having inside the backup file, see, it will reapply, like it will first um, copy the MDF and NDF files from this BAK file, and whatever the metadata structures it will copy, and whatever the data present inside the pages it will write to the database, and at last log records, everything it will copy from BAK file, and it will write to database. And whenever we do this, right, it should be in restoring. We have to mention with no recovery. So whatever the log backups we have applied, no, at last we have to mention with recovery, as I said. So here phases of restore now. We have four phases of restore here, and first phase is data copy. Second one is redo, or else we can say it has roll forward, and third is recovery point, and we have undo, roll forward, okay. So here we have the data copy phase, right? So whatever the BAK file, we have took the backup here. So it should again, whenever the backup file we have, from that we will be restoring the database. So it should apply all the events. Like whenever we took the backup, for example, the database crashed on Wednesday, so we will be copying the full Sunday backup and differential of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then whatever the T-log will apply, right? We are reapplying. We are going back and traveling time, and we are reapplying to this database. Okay. So that is the data copy phase. Whatever the data is available inside the BAK file, it will restore it has, okay, same data copy phase. It will perform. So again we have here roll forward, redo, means this means whatever it is. So whenever we take the full backup, right, at that time it copy the metadata, also the data pages, and also this log records. Whenever we write, we were inserting the commands, right, insert into the table name, okay, records will be inserting, no. So at that time what we can do, like at the we have committed transaction and uncommitted transaction, right? So I will be going to this notepad document. Here I have this database already, page level recover. What I will be doing here, I have the records, right? I will go here. I am having this records. If I give here begin run, then I will be running in master only. For example, I will be, this is actually this begin run, what we give now. At the last, if we not give the commit, then it is explicit transaction and uncommitted transaction, okay. Also it is, if you give begin run, if you won't give commit at last, then it is uncommitted transaction. If you give commit here, then it is a committed transaction. Also it is known as explicit transaction. Implicit means this one, like we will be insert into commands, insert into table name, then it is implicit transaction. whenever we give begin and we want to commit, then it is uncommitted, right? If we give commit at last, then it will commit the transaction. So same like that, whenever the event has occurred, we have took the backup now. So it will go to that event back and it will redo everything, whatever it has. So also the log committed or uncommitted, whether it is both, it will apply to that database, okay, from this BAK file to this data file. So it is known as redo. Here data copy means whatever the backup file has, it will copy everything, okay, one by one. And redo means whatever the committed and uncommitted is there, it will apply to that database, and it will come, okay, it will forward in time. Whatever the previously whatever the transaction it took the backup, it will apply whether it is committed or uncommitted. Hope you might now have understood that. And we have a recovery point. So recovery point is nothing but here it is the data claim will be state. So we have it means in redo phase, all committed and uncommitted is applied. There is nothing now to applied, okay, new, okay. So it has come to its original state at the recovery point, okay. So it has this redo phase has done, so it came into recovery. It has been recovered everything from here. There is nothing to recover now. And fourth one is roll backward, undo. This means here now we have to observe, so have given this example right here, like begin run we are giving, right? It is uncommitted transaction. If you give here commit means it is a committed transaction, right? Here whatever it took the log backups previously, we are applying to this database, right? Whenever we are restoring, at that time we are applying, right? So so here what it does means, here uncommitted transaction is there, no? It will remove all the uncommitted transaction during the undo phase. Here during the undo phase, all the uncommitted transaction are removed. So whatever the committed transaction is there, no, it will be applied. For example, now I have given here committed, uncommitted. If I commit means other transaction is committed, for example, then this will be applicable whenever the undo phase is ongoing, and it will remove all uncommitted transaction. That is meant by roll backward operation, okay, that is undo. So hope you might have understood this also. So here have the recovery process open the transaction log to identify uncommitted transaction. Uncommitted transaction are rolled back, means it will remove the uncommitted transaction, and it will back during the undo phase to bring the database to consistent state. Full differential this T-log backup. If we have many T-log backup, we have to apply that, and last we have 45 minutes or 30 minutes, 15 minute T-log backup. Then we have to apply that as well. If the it should be in consistent state, the transaction should be in clean, okay. Whatever the committed transaction is there, that only will apply. Uncommitted, it will cancel. So that is the meaning of this roll backward. And one more time I will be explaining. Data copy means whatever the backup file has, it will copy again to this database, and first it will copy the metadata, and after the data pages and all the log records will be applied. Then here in roll redo phase, like if it is whether committed or uncommitted, it will apply to this database, and in recovery point, uncommitted committed transaction, everything has come to recovery point. Rollback means it will remove all the uncommitted transaction and make the transaction clean, and whichever the committed transaction is there, it will apply that transaction only and remove this uncommitted. So that is the meaning of that. I have completed this all the topics from data copy phase, roll forward, recovery point, roll backward. So now I will be discussing about the backup information and restore information, how to read that. Okay, so we have here DBCC trace command. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be creating one database called as PITDB, and on this database I will be creating one table called as table 1. Then I will be inserting here records. This one record I will be inserting 1 lakh time, so that we will be having a big database and more records. Because why I have inserted means to work the demo properly. Here have this DBCC trace flags 3604, 3605, 3004. So if I go here in this DBCC PyITTB table, if you run this command, we have here the pages. Okay, so as I showed in last class, to read the page 344, we have to enable that trace flag called as 3604. Also I wanted to show you today this 3605 trace flag as well. If I enable this trace flag, what will happen means it will write to the log. Okay, so the information whatever it is there, it will write to the log. I will copy this and I will be pasting here. I will execute this command. If you execute, you can check the DBCC trace traces by using this command. Okay, so no trace flags are enabled. To run this statement, you can give here trace on and execute the command. If you enable this 3605, the behavior will be changed. Okay, this here, by seeing here you can check that it is enabled. Okay, this trace flag is enabled. Now we can go to error log. Okay, here SQL Server error log. Here it will be in management, SQL Server error log. Right click, view SQL Server error log. Then you will be finding that page information here. Okay, if you scroll down, a lot of information is there about that page. Here you can see that page information and all it is there. So again, if I execute, you can check the, if I have to refresh logs. Right click, view SQL Server error log. Here if you see, records are there. Okay, like this and all page information like page header, page buffer, slot number, and how many records are will be free. Okay, and also how many records are allocated in a row, like that information we can see there. So I have showed you now 3605, and at the time of page restore we can use this. And if we enable this 360, I will disable this. Okay, 3605 will be disabling. I will be enabling 3604. At the moment I enable this trace flag 3604, you can check the trace flag trace status here. 3604 is enabled. If you now run this page command, then the information will write here only to this page. And same thing for the backup information which I have. To read that backup information, whenever I take the backup, this has been completed, I have inserted 1 lakh records. Here now I will be taking the backup. Okay, backup database name PITDB to disk equal to this path. I will be running this command. Okay, so first before running this command, I will do one thing. I will enable that 3004 trace flag. Why have I enabled this 3004? I am enabling means to display the backup information. Okay, so it has been enabled here. Here whenever you take the backup, here we can see the backup information. Here backup database equal, over here it is problem. From disk equal to disk equal to path. Whenever you perform this backup, no, at that time you can see the backup information. I will be copying this to notepad. Here somewhere I will be copying. Here you can see that, okay, like backup database has started opening the database with slog, acquiring backup lock on database. These things and all for our knowledge purpose we are opening that information, okay, what and all in background it happens. So this information will be provided, will be there. Here you can see the buffer counts as 7. Like as I discussed earlier, if you go here and see, here we have 7 buffer, no? Like by default Microsoft has kept 7 only. This is the proof, okay? Now you can increase this buffer counts to 14 as well. And it has max transfer size, okay, of 64 KB we have here. That also clearly mentioned whenever we take the full backups, okay. And is copying all the MDF, all the data pages, okay, and the structure of the files and log records to that BAK file. If you see here, if you go down, data file backup process set up run in serial mode within a volume. Here from here the data is copying data file, copying the data files. Here it is, okay, copying the data files is complete. Now this backup will be finished, okay, and it has taken to backup file, and this much time it took. Like per second, for 56 MB it is taking 1 second, okay. So if it is restore process, same thing we can execute. Now I will be executing the restore command on this only, same database. This database only I am restoring, okay. If you right click and refresh, we have the database called PITDB. So we will read here the restore information also. For that I have to change here restore database PITDB from disk equal to that path. I am not mentioning with recovery here. So if I won't mention recovery, then it will it is with recovery only. So restore database PITDB from disk equal to PITDB. Restore cannot. Okay, here we have to use this master. Then now if I run this command, restore has been completed. So if you open this and see, right click, I will be refreshing, okay. You can see that same information, like acquiring a slot, restoring, restore the database started. And if you go here, you will see that information. So I will be talking in depth this information in next class, okay. So what I wanted to explain here, we have this backups, right, in here database is copying to BAK file, right. How it does that I wanted to show you. If you see here, Control Z, backup is backup information we can read in this way, and also in background buffer counts it will process the with buffer counts, okay, with buffer count and buffer process. Same thing when applying from BAK to database, it will copy all the metadata of the files, okay, primary data file and secondary data file, and also it copy the pages where data is present, okay, and also it copies the log records and applies to the database, okay. Whenever we take the backup from database, it takes to BAK file. From BAK file, it is applying in reverse process to database to come online. So here I have, whenever we restore the full backup with no recovery, all MDF, NDF and NDF and LDF, their sizes and their paths also, like C program file, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL, database called PITDB. So MDF and LDF file paths are there, no, that also it will copy. It will create blank database first whenever we restore. it will create that and it will copy data copy, and then records will be copied. Okay, whenever we copy with full backup, so here we full database has all the copy of the log records as well. So in second scenario we are taking differential backup. Now in second step, pages that are modified, okay, it is taking the backup of that from BAK to, it will modify to it will copy to MDF and NDF. Okay, all log records also copied in this situation also, and whatever the log backups available, that is transaction log backup 1 and transaction log backup 2, it will copy all the log records. Here also it will copy the log records, but here whenever the new inserts and new updates and new deletes happen, no, that also after taking the full backup on Sunday, like this is daily differential until hourly. This one we can copy all the log records, okay, to LDF. So again second log records can be copied to LDF. Okay, so the second transaction log backup. If applicable, we can copy that transaction log tail log backup. If applicable, whatever the 15 minutes remaining data, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we can copy that as well. So it will copy all the records. It will do first. It will do redo phase. That means whatever the committed and uncommitted transactions are there, it will copy all the transaction. As I said, like begin tran. If you not give commit at live, then it is uncommitted. That also it will apply. Okay, and so committed transaction also it will apply to that, and recovery point all if committed and uncommitted log records as then at recovery it will be coming to know everything is done. Okay, that committed and uncommitted, and at last we have roll backward. This means whatever the uncommitted transaction are there, it will cancel that and make the transaction clean, and then it will open the database with clean state. Okay, here we have, so we can, after that we can access this database, right click refresh. So as I done this, so here the main thing is I have read the information about the backups and restore here. So I have enabled this trace flag 3004 and 3604 also we have to enable. Both we have to enable. Here this will print this messages here, and here it will show the backup information. Okay, both we have to enable. So yeah, that's all for today's class, guys. I will be discussing in depth about this backups and restore. I will be showing everything in next class. Okay, thank you. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Take care.